Hello, today we're doing lesson 16, distribute, when we have a parentheses, okay? So I'm just going to do a recap of what we've learned so far, because we had a long holiday. First we were doing divide, okay? We're solving for one variable. And then we did what? Letters to the left, numbers to the right. Numbers to the right. And then we did combine like terms. Alright? So we've covered these scales so far into solving for one variable. This is going to be our guided practice. Before you start the video, remember, make sure you have the piece of paper, make sure you already copied the exercises, and follow the video as you saw the exercises with me. Alright, so we're solving for letter R, okay, but we have a parenthesis. So what do we do when we have a parenthesis? We distribute, all right? Because we have to take into consideration that right here is like having a -1, okay? And you're going to distribute like this. You're going to multiply, okay? Because the -1 is going to be multiplying this and this. So I'm going to rewrite everything. Now remember, for me to give you the credit, you have to show that you did all this work with me, okay? It's like attending the guided practice. If you only show the answer, it won't count, all right? Okay, so we have 6R, and then let's start multiplying. Distribute. -1 times 3R is -3R. -1 times 9, it's -9, and this equals 17. All right, so what do we do now? Remember, we're going to put the line right here. Before we already got rid of the parentheses, but before we start moving letters and numbers, can we combine anything over here? Yes, the R's. We can combine this one with this one. 6 minus 3 gives you 3R. And then bring this one down, -9. There's no other number here, so you cannot combine it with anything else. Bring down the equal and bring down the 17 right here. Okay, so now what did we say was next? What else did we learn? We want the letters on the left and the numbers on the right. So I see this number right here. I don't want it there. I want it over here. So I'm going to add 9, add 9. So these two get canceled. Bring down the 3R. And this equals 17 plus 9 gives you 26, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Yes, 26. And then what do we do to leave the R by itself? What was the first skill that we learned? Divide by 3. So divide. Did we do this right? Yes. So R equals 26 divided by 3 gives you I'm going to put it right here. 26 divided by 3 is going to give us 8.66. Okay, so remember, we're not working, we don't have our calculators that we have in our classroom, so we'll just leave it like this as a decimal. Okay, let's do the next one. Look at this problem. We need to solve for G, but we have a parenthesis. You see it? So what are we going to do to get rid of the parentheses? Distribute. It means that the 4 is going to multiply the 7 and is going to multiply this right here. Okay, Now, I'm going to put the word right here, multiply. And I want you to write it too. Okay? Remember, I need to check your work just like we were in the classroom. Okay? Just like when we are in the classroom. So, first I'm going to go from left to right. 4G, there's nothing here to combine. There's no parentheses. Bring down the equal. I'm going to put the line right here. 4 times 7, 28. 4 times negative g, negative 4g. Okay, now letters to the left, numbers to the right. So what are we going to do? I'm going to get rid of this plus 4g. If this one is subtracting, you add. If you add on this side, you add on the other side. Am I going to put the 4g adding over here underneath the 4? No, I'm going to put it right here. So these two get canceled. And 4 plus 4g gives me 8g. Bring down this guy, bring it down. Minus 4, bring down the equal sign, bring down the 28. Okay. I'm solving for g, don't forget. But I still see this number on this side. I don't want it there. So I'm going to add 4 and I add 4 on the other side. Remember our line. So these two get canceled. Bring down the AG, bring down the equal, and 28 plus 4 gives me 32. Now I'm ready to solve for G. How do I get rid of the 8? Divide by 8, 8. And G equals 32 divided by 8 gives me 4. And that is our answer. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 3. Look at this one. Now we have parentheses on this side and on this side. Don't panic. Now I'm going to highlight the D in pink. We're solving for D. I have parentheses on this side. Not to worry. Distribute, distribute, multiply. Distribute, distribute, multiply. Remember, you multiply when you're distributing. So 6 times D, 6D. 6 times 2, 12. Bring down the equal. 5 times D, 5D. 5 times negative 2, that gives you negative 10. All right. Now we already got rid of the parentheses by distributing. Now, do we need to combine like terms here? No. Combine like terms over here? No. Then the only thing left is letters to the left, numbers to the right. I'm going to write it over here. So I'm going to subtract 5D, subtract 5D, because I don't want this one. I want the letter over here, so these two get canceled. 6 minus 5, 1D. Bring down the 12 plus 12. This is equal. Bring down the 10. Okay, so remember, we're solving for D. Now, I don't want the 12 here. What do I do with it? Subtract. So if I subtract on this side, I subtract on the other side. So these two get canceled. Bring down the 1D equals 10 minus 12. If you put in the calculator, 10 minus 12 is going to give you negative 2. And of course, since you have a 1 right here, it means this D equals negative 2, because you divide by 1, you divide by 1. And the answer is, negative 2. I forgot to graph on number 2. It says right here, solve and graph. So, not to worry. All we have to do is just draw a little number line. Here's the 0, here's the 4, and here's the value for G. That's the graph. All right, because on number 4, again, they're asking us to solve and then graph. And again, we have parentheses. So We're solving for x, solving for x. Parentheses, what do we do? Distribute, 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 distribute. All right. 4 times x, 4x. Remember, you can pause and you can stop the video as you go along, okay? You can pause the video so you can catch up with the exercise. So 4 times x, 4x. 4 times 3, 12. This looks like a division, but it's a plus. Bring down the equal. 5 times x, 5x. 5 times negative 6, negative 30. We don't need to combine here. We don't need to combine on this side. So I'm just going to start moving letters to the left, numbers to the right. I don't want this one right here, so I'm going to subtract. But if I subtract here, I subtract also over here. Notice that I put x's with x's. I did not put it underneath the 12. Because letters go with letters, numbers with numbers. 4 minus 5, negative 1x. Bring down the 12. This is equal to, these two are gone, they're disappeared, they were canceled, so bring down the negative 30. Now I need to solve for x, and I don't want the 12 here, so what do? Subtract, subtract. These two get canceled. Bring down the negative 1x, and this is equal to negative 30 plus negative 12. You're adding two negative numbers, so it's going to be a negative. 30 plus 12 gives you 42, negative 42. You have the negative 1 right here. You don't want to have a negative, so what do? Divide, divide by negative 1, negative 1. This becomes a 1. And just bring down the x. Negative divided by negative, same as multiplication. It gives you positive what? 42 over 1 is positive 42. So this is your answer right here. Now we need to graph it. 42 is a big number. Okay. So I'm just going to put the 0 right here. And let's just pretend that we marked 41 spaces, and this is the 42, and this is the value of x. And that's it. Okay. All right. So turn in your guided exercise. Okay. Don't forget, I need to see all your work, just like when we are in the classroom. Thank you. Bye-bye.